Hi guys, this is going to be a concise step-by-step guide to setting up a direct booking website for your short-term rental. Completely coincidental timing, as I was filming that last video about pros and cons of direct booking websites, I actually got a phone call from a potential guest who saw my listing on Airbnb and then went to Google and searched for a way to contact me directly, found my minimally viable website that did not have any proper direct booking stuff set up. It's just the pictures and then a phone number. And he called and tried to book directly, explaining that he wanted to do so to avoid fees. Unfortunately, I was not ready to accept payment. I didn't have any damage deposits, nothing was set up to do this. And I had to refer him back to Airbnb. But I guess it's real. People share on these online forums that they can look up places to book directly to minimize cleaning fees, Airbnb fees, and whatnot. And so if you're thinking about it, here is a very high-level overview of what setting up such a website entails, and I hope this helps you decide on your next steps. The first step is to pick a provider for your direct booking website / property management software. I chose Lodgify, who is kindly partnering with me on this video. I went with them mainly because of the website templates they had available, and I saw some examples that looked really professional and well done. They also offer a 7-day free trial period so you can test out the software and make sure it's gonna suit your needs before you subscribe. I'll leave a link to them as well as a discount code in the description below. Step 2 is to connect your channels, aka Airbnb listing, Vrbo, Booking.com. And the purpose of this is to make sure you don't get double booked and what you're presenting on your Lodgify direct booking calendar is going to be accurate. The connection process is pretty straightforward, but I will point out, as one of you had also already noticed in the previous video, that for the Vrbo integration, you basically have two options. You can either go with an API connection, which brings in all of the information about the guest, the booking, the dates, and you can synchronize the messages in addition to the calendar. In that scenario, you would have to take over the payment processing as well. So instead of Vrbo charging a blanket 8% that includes commission plus payment processing, they will now only charge you 5% commission while you take over payment processing, which turns out to be about 3%. So financially, you're not at a loss there. It's just that if you're not used to doing payment processing and reporting taxes, that is an extra step and can be a downside. Alternatively, you can connect only by iCal, so just syncing the calendars but not the messages. Vrbo would continue to deal with the payment and the tax reporting, but you won't be able to use the unified inbox of Lodgify and automate all your messages from the same place. I've submitted my feedback to Lodgify that this would be a pretty helpful thing to add, so hopefully they'll change that for the future. But for now, I just wanted you guys to know ahead of time and not be surprised in the setup process. If you use dynamic pricing, you'll also want to synchronize that at this point to make sure everything is consistent across all the platforms and appropriately marked up if the commission is higher. I will say this about the setup process: if you run into any issues at all, or if you just want a second set of eyes to help make sure everything is set up correctly, Lodgify offers these free onboarding calls where they'll look through your listing and your settings together and offer any suggestions. They've also been so helpful and so patient with all my questions, to the point of sending me a personalized video demo showing how they would adjust my listing on their screen. All right, moving on to the actual setup of a direct booking website. This is what the Lodgify website builder looks like. And a lot of the content is already automatically imported from your Airbnb listing, like the pictures, the descriptions, your title, and contact information. And so, for example, under gallery here, it just pulls all my images from the Airbnb listings and the captions. I did not do anything to make it look like this. Same for the map if you want that to be included. And reviews wise, that doesn't pull automatically, so you do have to manually import your reviews, but I suppose that gives you a chance to filter out any that are undesirable, inaccurate, or otherwise you just don't want to add them. You can also add other pages to be included into the menu bar, like if you had specific contact details that you want to feature, or if you have an email list sign up for discounts, or you want to share recommendations, attractions, whatever, you can add and customize the pages here. There are 4 main templates you can choose from, and I think they all look pretty good. You can customize the colors and fonts and the layout to suit the vibes of your listing. I found them really easy to use. I didn't really have to do very much to make it look pretty professional professional. And the websites also adapt to mobile and desktop and tablet, whichever device the person is using. You get a free domain with your Logify subscription, or alternatively, if you've already purchased a domain name, you can import it here under settings. The last thing I want to point out is that if you already have an existing site like on Squarespace or WordPress, you can also just add the Logify calendar booking widget into your existing website. There are definitely benefits to using an external provider like WordPress because A, you have more customizability, so you can change every design element to a T to your liking, and B, it's a little bit more portable in case you want to switch to a different provider if Logify becomes really expensive. Whatever reason, you have the flexibility to change that. But the downside is that you'll probably have to pay another subscription fee to Squarespace or WordPress or whoever you use to accept these widgets, and it's usually not their minimum plan for these widgets to work. Step 4 are all the extra back-end things you need to do before you can actually accept direct bookings beyond just having a website. This may include a rental agreement where you have your guests sign that they understand the house rules, the check-in, check-out times, the dates, and whatever other agreement items that you want to put into a legally binding thing. You can build this agreement starting from your house rules, and Logify has a template that you can work with. And then B, you'll need a payment processor like Stripe to actually receive the payment. And then C, you might want to consider a service like Superhog that does guest verification, screening for scams, and filtering out fraudulent bookings, as well as offer protection in the form of like damage waivers or damage insurance. Once you connect Superhog to Logify, then any direct bookings that come through Logify would go to Superhog, and then the guest would be prompted to like upload their picture, upload their ID, and kind of complete a verification process, kind of like what Airbnb would do. And you have a whole menu of options of what kind of damage protection you would like to add on. And they also have an algorithm that helps filter out fraudulent guests and bookings. And they pull guest profiles based on their name and picture, I don't know what else, from different booking platforms to gather reviews. And at the end of this whole screening process, you get a report, and you can use that information to decide whether or not you want to host a certain guest. If you get up to this point, you have a minimally viable product as far as direct booking websites go. People can see your calendar and pricing, they can request to book there, you can receive payments, and you have a few safety checks that mirror what you would have gotten on something like Airbnb. And this is how far I've gotten. I'd say it took maybe 15 to 20 hours to get this far. And a lot of it was figuring out what I was supposed to be doing and making sure the connections are set up correctly. Honestly, setting up the property management software and connection part took longer than the actual website setup. The website portion was no more than a couple hours. It was just tinkering with different fonts and colors, which really brought back some memories of procrastinating on picking the right PowerPoint template. But anyway, you can totally stop here if you want to. If you want to take it to the next level, you can create blog type of content, something that is searchable and of interest to a potential traveler in that area. So for example, if you have a lake house in Minnesota, you might feature something like, these are the best coffee shops in this area, or these are some boat rental services in whatever area it is. You can write about local attractions or monthly events, etc. And the purpose of these is to really broaden your exposure to audiences that may potentially be interested in your rental. So far, I've just researched a few keywords and few trending topics in the area, but I haven't started the blog writing aspect yet. Search engine optimization and how it relates to like a direct booking website can be its own video, so I'm not going to go in depth here. I want to thank Logify again for partnering with me on this video, and I hope this was helpful to anyone who is considering direct booking websites. I recently did a Q&A video where we tackled a lot of short-term rental related questions. If you haven't seen it yet, I'll link it right here. Don't forget to check out the link in the description and the discount code, and I will see you again next time. Bye!